Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. As you've seen from the thumbnail, we're going to be looking at the full members trophy cup, whatever you want to call it. This was a trophy that the Football League introduced in 1985 for 85-86 season. It came under many names. It was the full members cup to begin with between 85 and 87. Between 87 and 89 it was known as the Simod Cup, and between 1989 and 1992 it was known as the Zenith Data Systems Trophy, or the ZDS. It was brought in due to the Heysel Stadium disaster in 1985, where English clubs were banned from Europe for a number of years. It was to alleviate any money that clubs would have lost during that period of time. It was primarily for clubs in the first and second divisions. We're talking about pre-Premier League here in 1985 to 1992. So all the clubs that were full members of the Football League, as the Division 1 and Division 2 teams were. Division 3 and Division 4 have their own trophy, which was called the Associated Members, but that'll be for another video. It was a trophy that was primarily brought in for clubs that had been barred from Europe, but in the 1985-86 edition, none of the clubs that had qualified for Europe were actually invited. They had their own trophy for a one-off. Again, that's another video that will be coming pretty soon. There were 7 editions, played from 1985 to 1992. They were played on a various format, of which I'll do a bit later on into the video. Like I said, it was brought in for the banning of the English clubs. When the ban was partially lifted in 1990-91 season, and then fully lifted in the 1991 season, 1991-92 season, and then it was disbanded at the end of that season. 7 editions took place between 86 and 92. As you will see, Blackburn Rovers and Reading were the only Division 2 teams to win. As you can see from the 7 editions, the first edition in 85-86, 21 teams were invited, 16 from the first division and 16 of the 22 from the second division. In 86-87, 36 teams were invited, 14 from the first division, and all second division teams participated. 87-88, 40 teams, 17 from the first division and all 23 from the second division. 88-89, 40 teams again, 16 from the first and 24 from the second. 89-90, 37 teams, 13 from the first division, 24 from the second division. 1990-91, when the ban was partially lifted from Europe, the English teams in Europe, 15 from the first division and 24 from the second division. And in 1991-92, when the tournament was suspended at the end of the year, there were 18 from the first division and all 23 but Sunderland decided to turn up. As you can see, that there were 4 clubs that never entered the tournament. That was Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur. As you can see from this graphic, Chelsea won the first division and Nottingham Forest won the last division. Nottingham Forest and Chelsea are the only 2 teams that won on multiple occasions. And as I said earlier on, Blackburn Rovers and Reading were the only teams to win from the second division. The other thing with Reading was that they were the only team that did not defend their title, as in the end of the 87-88 season, they were actually relegated to Division 3, so weren't eligible to participate in the following year. Each of the formats of the 7 divisions were done a little bit different. In 1985-86 season, the format was the clubs from the north and the south were split into north and south sections. The southern section had 4 groups of 3, and the winner advanced to the semi-final. And the 2 winners from the north played a 2-legged final. In the 85-86 season, the format was split into north and south sections. The south section had 4 groups of 3. Each of the winners advanced to the semi-final, and the 4 teams played each other on a 2-legged semi-final, and then met in the final over 2 legs to decide who would meet the winner of the northern section. The northern section had 1 group of 3 and 3 groups of 2, and again the top winners were qualified for the semi-final, and again it was played over 2-legged and a final, so that the 2 teams that had won each of the sections got through to the final. In 86-87, 87-88 and 88-89, it was a straight knockout system. So clubs are similar to the FA Cup and the League Cup, drawn against each other, winning goes through to the next round. In 1989, 1990, 1991 and 91-92, it was reverted back to North and South sections again, and again semi-finals and final, so that each of the sections had a particular winner. So as you can see from this graphic, the different teams that won the tournament, like I said, Chelsea and Nottingham Forest won it twice. Nottingham Forest are the current holders of it. Obviously it's not been held since 1992. The following season is when the Premier League came in and things were changed around. Again, like I said, it was under 3 different names. Full Members Cup was the first couple systems, 85 to 87. 87 was the Simod Cup, and ZDS or Zenith Data Systems was from 1989 to 1992. If anybody actually remembers watching any of these games, if you'd like to drop it down in the comments below, it would be absolutely brilliant. We're going to wrap this up now. There are a few more coming up similar to this, because in the late 1980s, the Football League, with its 100-year centenary in 1886 and to 1986, they did a couple of one-off tournaments, and we'll be going through those in another video. So if you like this video, if you would hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up and make any comments in the bottom, that would be brilliant. Until the next time, see you later guys, bye.